Despite its immense popularity in recent years, the field of multimodality or multimodal analysis has also invited a lot of criticism or cautious point of views from various researchers. For example, if we look that Forceville believes that there is a lack of consistency in the use of terms and in their interpretations by various authors who come up with their own unique meanings of various images or models used by multiple authors. So he emphasizes on the need to develop a consistent framework which may help us people develop deep insights into the phenomena of multimodality, also in combination with text. Similarly, Reynolds expresses concern over multi-modality analysis and expressed that multimodality may suffer from producing lots of descriptive knowledge, descriptive details about images, their use, their general or generalized meanings, but it would fall short on showing how these actually can or potentially can produce powerful insights into social or cultural meanings. Therefore, this seems very likely, based on this criticism, that future researchers must focus on some kind of phenomena of multimodal analysis, or a kind of model which is not only consistent in terms, but it also provide us some kind of deeper analysis instead of a mere descriptive knowledge which may be applicable in certain context and may not be applicable in other contexts. Therefore, we need to see a deeper view which is still in the process, and as we see that from this perspective, the field of multimodal analysis is still at its beginning stage. It has also been have been argued that researchers in the field of multimodal analysis must avoid a tunnel vision, which focuses on looking into various matters of analysis through one single theory of language. Rather, there should be multiple perspectives involved. Especially, the researchers are advised to focus on various interdisciplinary approaches which can help us decoding various kinds of images. For example, researchers can easily benefit from the studies which have been conducted in the field of film or media studies, where images takes the primary stage of analysis. Therefore, this can help critical discourse analysts to interpret their own images in their own fields also. And researchers are also advised to take an ethnographic view of multimodality or multimodal analysis, because they need to situate various kinds of images in their context, because images like words may hardly or would hardly have universal meanings. They may carry different meanings in different contexts. Simultaneously, the same image produced for the same purpose may be interpreted differently by people living in one context, and may be interpreted differently by people in another context. For example, an image which is mocking a hero of one nature would be enjoyed by a nation who is actually produced it, and whereas this image would be interpreted with some kind of sad feelings or feeling of annoyance in the country to which that hero or that figure belongs to. Therefore, we need to develop a comprehensive theory which can help us to develop an ethnographic view of multimodal images or multimodal tools to produce a text. In this regard, systematic functional linguistics can be helpful, because it helps us to look into various functions of language and develop the grammar of underlying systematic resources. But this leads us to depart from the point of view which is guided by various conventions, and this would may bound us to look a certain image outside its context, and therefore from a particular linguistic or grammar or functional perspective. This may be better than a mere grammatical or textual view of modes, but still this would not help us enough to look images into their proper contextual or situational framework. That's why Bateman argues that it is always possible to take or analyze a text from the perspective of meta functions as it has been proposed by the functional linguistics. But this would simultaneously impose some kind of view that which multimodality has already been criticized. Therefore, not all kinds of semiotic resources are suitable to be described in three meta functions. There would be certain semiotic resources which would be outside the premises of these meta functions, or in other words, these meta functions would fall short to explain their in-depth or genuine meanings. Therefore, it can carry out an ideological work through positioning and the creating relationship between elements. There will of course be an ideational and interpersonal consequences or qualities involved in every text, but still the similar powerful view is that there would be certain functions of that language that would not fall in the category of meta functions. So what would we do with those modes or semiotic resources? We may include some kind of meta function theory based on systematic functional linguistics, but we need to look beyond also, and need to involve other interdisciplinary approaches also. We also believe that it's fruitful to view different kinds of semiotic resources as existing in a way that it is always tightly interwoven. Semiotic resources are co-articulated in communication, and it would not be apparently wise to look them in isolation. Yes, certain modes may exist independently, but if they happen to be in line with other modes, we need to develop their interdependent, interwoven, interpersonal point of view also, and we need to see them as a whole also. If we keep on insisting on relying on their independent or separate status, isolated status only, we probably may miss the main point or main interpretation of those modes. When observing his son, one of the researchers found that language learning involves not only textual learning, but it also involves other elements of language outside the grammar, for example, the body language, paralinguistics, prosody, and then the social use of language also. That is why it seems very important to look language or the analysis of multimodal beyond linguistic resources also. Well, finally we can say that a proper multimodal CDA approach should focus on some kind of multidisciplinary approach, should take help from other resources, and should not rely on single theory which has already been used in various kinds of linguistic analysis. So the researchers will need to involve various contextual approaches, ethnographic approaches, socio-contextual approaches, ideological approaches, in line with various needs of individual context. If we detach ourselves from the demands of a context while interpreting a certain mode or various models or semiotic resources, we will probably detach ourselves from the real concerns of the real people also. To sum up, we can say in order to develop a comprehensive or somehow a semblance of a comprehensive theory in multimodal analysis in CDA, we need to develop an interdisciplinary and ethnographic approach.